I haven't finished him, right? But this is my guide, Hamu, right? This is one of the guys I talked to. Let me show you. Only for the purpose of, if you've met Tim before, then please let me know, because you might be talking to all of us. I haven't finished the eyes. I've got a little bit more definition, but kind of like that. But that's Hamu. I used to call him Eugenu, because that's the name that I got for, like, I made up for him, basically. So I had a name for him. But then recently he was in a dream with me and he told me, "You want to know my name? It's..." Now, I woke up going, was it Valhan? Or Hamu? I couldn't remember. So I've picked Hamu just so I've got a name for him, right? But someone kept telling me it was Valhan or something. But anyway, if you recognise him, please let me know. Good morning, all my beautiful friends. I'm Claire from Higher Dimensional Mind. A quick update on these energies we're getting. Now, if you're new to the channel, I put videos out in about 2012 that I went through 9 hours of vibrating. Myself and a friend, and some other guy off YouTube that I found later, but I can't find him now. His name is John. If you know him, please send him my way, because I want to chat to him. So we went through 9 hours of vibrating, very intense, teeth vibrating, eyes. I thought we must be blurred to look at. It was so intense. But I'm not going to go into that now. I'm only referring to that to say that I went through that and my friend because they told us that we're going through it then, so when it happens for real, we'll recognise what's happening and be able to help and assist. Or warn, or, give encouragement, whatever. So I'm feeling these happening now. Quite often when I go to bed at night, I do vibrate. I take my feet off the ground, so I'm not grounding myself anymore, and I do feel a buzz. I do feel weird shifts in the body. But that kind of ceased for a long time, and it started up again a few months ago. And then I was told the 19th would be something big to look for, a really important date. And then I found, now, lover or hater, right? I don't judge anybody, but Kim Gugon put out just the other night, after my video, that on the 19th there was going to be the alignment of the 3 versions of Earth all coming together, and it would happen. It would be finished on the 19th, so you would feel all these weird feelings. You might be disorientated, and yeah, absolutely. It's crazy time in this house. So I'm trying to be quick, right? But I had a really weird experience where I felt like I wasn't in my body at all. The body was coping by itself without me. I don't know where I went, but I did a really strange thing. And I was in a supermarket with my mum, and I was about to put the shopping on the trolley and the conveyor belt, and I looked at the baskets, and I just went, like, offline. And I remember the feeling of just being this very basic humanoid, if that's the best way I can explain it, okay? And I started to try to pick up the handle, like it was the most difficult thing ever, trying to pick up the handle of this basket to pick it up. And my mum says, "Claire, what are you doing?" I went, "I don't know." And I realised I was trying to pick up a basket rather than take my shopping and put it on the conveyor belt. It was really weird. So, next thing. My son phoned me and said, "Hey mum, what's up?" He was at his work. And I said, "Oh, nothing much. I'm just making the sculptures." And he said, "No, why did you phone me?" I says, "I haven't phoned you." He said, "You just phoned me 5 minutes ago." I says, "Not possible. I've had the phone on the stand, and I've been listening to a podcast," the Kim Kugon one, and I've not touched my phone. I've not been near it. I can't have phoned you. He said, I saw you phoning me, and I just called you back." Not me. I don't know. That's weird, Stephen. I don't know. Don't know what happened there. Yesterday, I'm at the door talking to a neighbour, and my phone's ringing, and I look and said, "Oh, I better go. It's Stephen phoning me." And she could see that it's Stephen phoning me. "Oh, you better let you go, it's your son." So I missed it, and I phoned him right back and said, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Nothing, I'm just doing away at work. Why?" And I says, "Because you just phoned me." "I've not phoned you." I said, "I've got a missed call on my phone from you. I missed it. I've just been on the phone to so-and-so for work. Didn't phone you." He says, "Mum, I didn't phone you." And he's like, "Has this happened again?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I took a photograph of my call log that he'd called me. It was a missed call. He doesn't have it on his log. He doesn't have that he phoned me on his log. And I'm going to put these pictures up because I need to show people that, you know, these things happened, right? And there's no explanation for it. We're either out of time or, I don't know. It's his madness thinking. Am I in one version of reality, he's in a different, and the Claire that's phoning him is in a different one? And, you know, I don't know. I don't want to go woo-woo on this, but it's very strange, right? So, next thing. The other night I saw my Arcturian's blue arm in the bedroom with me. I saw the whole arm, right? Now, my Arcturians always show me lights with warnings, right? So the bigger the danger, the more flashes. I'll say that. When it comes to like somebody could actually go really crazy and really harm us, the person's covered in flashing all around them, right? Just an example of what I'm talking about here, which has happened. So when I saw the blue arm, I was like, oh, nice. You know, they're coming stronger and stronger. That's really good. I'm seeing them really clearly. But I'm also seeing a static in the room. And that static is usually associated with what I would call the ones from Planet X, right? Without saying the name. They seem to be hanging around. It won't just be me. I bet you any of you who are on the up are getting watched by them. And when you close your eyes, not your eyes closed, sorry, your eyes open at night, when you turn your light off, you'll get a lot of hiss, right? And if you get a lot of hiss static, that's them watching you. And they seem to be very interested in who's accelerating their energy, right? Like they don't want it. It's like they're trying to come back here quick before we do this, right? That's what it seems to me. Or they're trying to stop you by putting thoughts in your head, bringing your energy down, excuse me, any ways they can to lower your vibration, because they have the ability to control how you think and feel to an extent, right? I call it heat lamping, because it's like the effect of a heat lamp gives you heat, right? It's direct heat. They can project fear, anger, sadness. You might just suddenly out of the blue feel sad and not know why, and it brings your energy down. It's lowering your vibration. And I've been aware for a long time that that's these beings, because you can be happy to anything. One minute you sense somebody near you, and then all of a sudden you're hit with this emotion and you're like, nah, no thank you. Not today, pal. So when I see the static, I usually connect to my Arcturians. And last night was the same thing. I saw the real static and I was like, so I just focused, and it was actually really hard, like I was being blocked, to try and see the blue star in the centre of the galaxy, which I class as heaven, right? And I've been there once on this weird, like, it was like a Concorde ship, but it was in space. And as we came out of Earth, I saw rainbows and rainbows and rainbows, and all those rainbows joined onto this blue star. It was beautiful, bright, azure blue star. And there was a cloud going towards it, and I was told in my head by somebody I couldn't see, one last revolution. I don't know how long a revolution is. I hope many of you watching will know what that means and tell me, because I've been asking and asking for about 12 years now, and no one's given me the answer. When is a revolution? Right, so one last one. Of what? So I'm going to keep this quick. So when I saw the blue arm, I connected to the star, and I felt the energy start to come through me, and it was really, really, really strong. And this morning I got up during the night to go to the toilet, and I felt like my hands and feet were so strong in a vibration that it was like I had my hand against an old CRT telly, and the static is really strong. It's like, almost feels like you're touching a web. My hands and feet were totally like that. Hang on, give me a second. Sorry, I had to go and get my charger. Look, it looks like I've been punched in the eye. I haven't. I promise. So my kittens are making a lot of noise, so I do apologise if they're trying to climb on the table. So yeah, the vibration through me was something else, right? I'm got the toilet and I'm kind of laughing, going, oh my god, I can hardly walk. My feet it's not like pins and needles, but it's a similar sensation where you feel like your feet are weird and huge, with the vibration, right? And I'm like, my hands, I feel like, look at them going, what is going on? I'm zapping the walls with my hands. Anyway, so that's that, okay? So when it comes to me, completely disconnection from my body the other day. And then weird, I was talking to my mum and her face looked like it was starting to glow golden, and I'm like, what's going on, you know? And everything else kind of went weird. My son, I told you that, he saw himself when he fell behind him looking like he saw the gold silhouette. Like, time is completely out of whack. His energy was still there and his body had moved, and he looked back and saw where he was standing. He saw my daughter when she, you know, climbed up. He saw the aura left behind and move. So time is very, very out of sync, really. Really madly. The phone calls. We never phoned each other, but our phones phoned each other. Something happened. I'm not sure if this is still, as they said, these 3 versions of Earth. Now, I can't confirm this, remember, okay? I got told this by Andromedans, because they are the ones who are being guiding me through a lot of this. The Arcturians do the healing work with me. We don't communicate in words, we just communicate in flashes. They don't really talk, or they don't have the means to talk. They're pure energy beings, but very heightened energy, and obviously the Anunnaki, right, who seem to have a nosy neighbour syndrome. They're always watching us. So, my son had a very peculiar dream, and he doesn't know about any of this 19th. He's always upstairs in his room, college work, or he's, you know, talking to friends, or he doesn't watch my videos, and we haven't had time to catch up about this 19th business. But he came down the other day and said, Mum, I think something happened on like Thursday, which was the 19th. He had a dream, and I'll tell you very quickly, not to bore you, that he was sitting at his PC desk and he felt himself get slapped on the face. He turned round and there was another version of him. And he's like, what? And the two just stared at each other like, why, you know, you're me. Then another version came, so there's three Kyles. And they were just eventually decided they're all going to have to live in the same reality together, so let's just get on with it. Then that was that, okay? The next game night, he dreamt of 3 scenarios, and he said, again, sitting at his PC desk, the first night he heard these really weird, he said it was like trumpet sounds, like really loud trumpet sounds, if I come out his window. He looked out and he knew it was a different version of where we live, because the houses that should be opposite weren't there, and you can see all the way to Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh, right? Behind Arthur's Seat was, he said, Planet X going by. It was bright red, but it turned our atmosphere neon pink. And these neon pink spores were falling down from these things, and little Rice Krispie shapes falling from them. No idea what they were, but he's looking and going, holy hell. He ran downstairs to see me, and he said that I couldn't see him, but he was watching me get my daughter, try to distract her from looking out the window. I didn't want her to see it or to get scared of it. Obviously the room was lit up with pink light from the sky, right? Everything turned neon pink. Then it phased into another dream. He said he felt like between the phases, like going through some kind of weird time dimension or something. It was like a weird kind of feeling, right? If you understand what that face I've just made is. So the next one was, he looked out the window of the front of the house, and he said there was thousands of bodies all piled up. He says it was like, to him it was like a zombie apocalypse, because there was body parts lying about as well. Apologise if that's upsetting. And he ran downstairs to find me again. Couldn't find anybody in the house. Opened the front door and there was entrails leading right to the front door. He didn't know what was going on, but he knew this was bad, right? And he wasn't sure if he was the last person on earth. I don't know what that means, okay? To me it would signify mass death. If it's a timeline, was it the spores that caused it? Or is it a different version of Earth and they all end differently? Then, this is the strangest one, right? He obviously loves his mama. So when he went back to his computer chair, again it kept phasing back to this computer chair, and he said he saw this weird things out the window. He said there were like chevrons falling from the sky, bright blue, right? And he went outside and looked up and he's like, what's happening? All these blue chevrons falling from the sky. Then he noticed this female in the sky, bright blue, but had the head of a lily. And he's looking at this blue woman with this head of a lily. And he's like, what's going on? He says, and the lily started to sing. He says, but Mum, it was your voice. It was your voice coming from this blue lily. Started singing. And as you started singing, all these humans started going up in the air. They all started rising up to meet the blue chevrons. He says, like the chevrons were angels and they were going up to meet them and they were leaving Earth. He says, then suddenly I'm back, like another twist in reality, and I'm back in my computer chair going, what was all that? What was that about? And I says, did you feel anything different? Was anything different on Earth? Did anything look different? He went, not, it looked the same. It felt new. It felt brand new. Like a whole new energy, like new etheric energy. And I said, is it like all three had joined together as one and you were feeling the whole full energy rather than a third of it, which we've been living in? He says, kinda. It was kinda like I knew things were going to be good. It was a whole new start, completely new life, kinda. I'm like, well, that's good. He says, but I knew in the dream that it wasn't apparent right away, but it would become very apparent over time that we're living in a different reality. So that's something to look for, right? And since he told me that, that's when the weird phone calls have happened, and I woke up last night with hands like I wish I'd looked in the mirror to see what it looked like in the reflection, but you want to try these things and write it down. It's things you think later. Imagine I tried this. Did I not even try and put my hands together? No, I didn't. I wanted to get back to sleep. But I did giggle like, what is going on with this energy? But it's because I've been through it all before, so I know it's all coming. I know what's coming, and I doubted it for a long time because I thought, well, I could just be getting told this of negatives, I know I get told, I know my prophetic dreams are true because I had it since high school, and I was always dreaming what me and my friends would get up to. Our school bus was an army bus, so the whole school was on a bus, from my camp in Germany, and so we were all, on the same bus every day. It wasn't pedestrians or what pedestrians, like just normal people. No one was on that apart from the school kids. So every morning I would tell them my dreams, and I didn't skive classes, right? I was quite a nerd, but we would skive gardening class, and they always relied on me to say, when we were walking back to school, the bus is coming right now, get behind a building. And we did, and the bus would come, and then I was like the teacher standing at the doors waiting, and she was, so everyone else got caught but me because I knew what was going to happen, right? So this is my whole life. I've really heavily relied on my psychic intuition and prophetic dreams to know what's going to happen and to be prepared for things, and it served me very well. So when I'm getting these dreams, I'm likely to believe them more than not because of my past history of being very bang on every time. And I've had these dreams of the floods and the water. It's not a tsunami that I see coming in, right? It's like one of two things. Either the waves come in very gently and just keep on coming in until they're up to a certain level, or the water starts to come through the ground and it just looks like suddenly everything's water, right? I want you to check your soil. Dig a hole. If you know you've got normally very good drainage, dig a hole and pour some water in and see how long it takes to drain away. That'll tell you if there's water rising up below the ground. Okay, that's. I think I get shown these things to tell you so you can make sure that you're in a safe position. Because this isn't catastrophic. Sorry, the cat just knocked my handbag off the table. They like to climb in my handbag. I had to get rid of one handbag because they climbed in it and pooed. That was a nice surprise. I didn't realise till I was out in the supermarket. That was horrific. When you realise there's a waft of poo coming for your bag. Oh, life is just a comedy show, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going to go now because that's a long enough update. But look for strange things happening, really strange things happening. Like I saw a clip the other day of a bird just stationary in the sky, like frozen in the sky. And there's a guy climbing up a tree. There's a crowd of people watching it. It must have been frozen for a while. Guy's gone and got a ladder and a net, and he's just climbing up, and he's just going to like put the net to the bird's face, and the bird kind of wakes up and starts flying. I'm like, see, my son saw that. He was on the way to work one day with him and his colleague, and they were driving towards Edinburgh Airport. Now I'm aware there can be like a weird thing that happens with optical illusion, but they were driving under the bypass, on the bypass under a flight path, and the plane was just sitting, not moving. And they're both like looking up going, what the fuck is that? Plane's not moving, it's just still above the road. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but they certainly did. And they said it was like a glitch in time. And I've been aware of these things happening sporadically since 2012. Before that, life seemed to be very normal, apart from things go missing in my house and reappearing in the same place days later. But that was just hauntings and stuff, that's not related. So this is really exciting, okay? I would love you to comment. I know you're not very big on sharing in this group, but I would really love you to comment and tell me what weird things you've had. Because I know I asked to do, if you could like the video to tell me that you're feeling these things, and I've got about 5 likes out of like 100 people. So that didn't give me hope that there's not that many people actually ascending. I'm hoping that that increases with this new energy, okay? So, fingers crossed. Please, if you don't want to like the video, at least just put a thumbs up in the comments to tell me that you're going through this too. I just want a number. That's all. I'm very much appreciated. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Love to all of you. Happy ascending, guys. In order to do this work to raise your vibrations, you have to really be mindful about it. Things will be happening in your life, and if you're too busy, you may not even pay attention to it or notice. So it's really important to start going through meditations, or even just take 5 minutes when you're sitting on a break at work and just close your eyes for a minute if it's possible. Even go to the toilet and just close your eyes for a minute and see where you are. And how I do it at night is when I'm lying on my back, I start feeling my energy, I feel that I'm in my body, I start feeling the strong buzz, I start feeling vibrations, I'm aware of myself as an energy being. And I start rising up out my body, and I go through what always seems to be 7 layers. Some of them are pretty scary. Like last night, I was rising up, and first layer I get to, it's always black, right? And you see these kind of demonic faces like and snapping at you and stuff. Just, they can't hurt you, so you just stay chill, you don't react to it, you just observe and float up. And then when you get to the end of the 7th layer, 7th dimensional reality, whatever, it always looks to me like I'm coming out of water, like I'm coming out of the sea, like that, and I float up, and then there's the blue star there. And last night when I did it, I put my hands out and I received energy from the blue star. It came out like a filament, like a snake kind of thing. Not a snake, you know, it's the wrong word. Like a, you know, a filament of the sun. You know, it came out and joined onto me, and I filled up with this blue light. And then I scooped up some sand from nowhere, and I threw sand into the air in front of me, and I got another scoop and threw it again. The sand started to configure, doing this, right? And it formed this old-fashioned brass key. And I took the key, and while I'm doing this, I'm speaking some different language. I always speak in a different language I don't even understand myself. But I hear myself speaking in this other language, communicating with the being who is the blue star, whatever, right? I take the key and I put it inside myself, and right then I felt physically in my body in bed this weird shift in energy. So I'm only telling this because maybe it's worth doing, maybe it's worth putting yourself in a safe place that you tell yourself nothing can harm you, you can't get stuck, you're a free sovereign being, and you're heading towards the blue star in the centre of the galaxy. And you're trying to focus and visualise this blue star, that's where you're going to. You might go straight there, maybe you won't go through the 7 layers like I do. Perhaps, but give it a try and see, do the same as I did with the sand, and see if you get a key as well. And put it in the comment section, let me know if you did. Okay?